Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shoulder Tap, where I am Jack, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Series 3 recipient himself, Ben. What's happening, Ben?
Hey, Jack. Yeah, the news is out. I passed my Series 3 yesterday. I'm very thankful to be done with that study process. I thought initially when NP was going through his journey, on TV and talking about it every day, that was he talked about some of the typos in the study material. I thought he was maybe exaggerating a little bit. He's really not. There's a lot of typos and math errors and things like that in the study material. So it's an added layer of difficulty getting through that test. But we did it. We got the pass, and yeah, so I've got a Series 3 license now, which is exciting. Good for Topstep, good for me. So yeah, it's been a good week.
With great power comes great responsibility, Ben, and we'll use some of that right now to talk about our traders. How are the traders doing? Just want to mention real quick, tilt right now, 80% long S&P 500, 71% NASDAQ, 74% crude oil, all along some assets there. 81% pretty high. That's about as high as we see it there.
Yeah, did you mention a bond auction coming through at noon as well? I'm not really seeing much in the way of reaction to
It was
that.
just a
Just curious.
5 year, so
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, let's cover some of the live funded traders. I know that house account hasn't done particularly well today, sitting around down 30K. Part of that is a consequence of increasing your size. I think it's a good demonstration for what happens when you increase your size. You expose yourself to larger potential losses as well as larger potential gains. So something to keep in mind as we talk about some of the loss limits and things that we'll cover in this segment. Rip's up 4,500 bucks today. Rip's having a great day. Nick for a tick up 550. Tanya Trades was a little bit green earlier, down 300 today. Pin Sin took a U-turn in the wrong direction, was green this morning, ended up hitting the DLL, but lots of other pretty big P&Ls on the board. Gorkum up 8 grand, FaZe up 6,300. Chung, a very well-known name around here, is up 10,500. Rafa up a cool 9 grand, and Shiftan up 20,600 at the moment. So, yeah, pretty big numbers from some of the top P&Ls on the board today. More so, I think probably the highest breadth of those top performers so far this week. So, really impressive from some of our live traders, and a couple of those individuals we'll talk about in the trading cards. We can jump right into it if you're ready, Jack.
yeah, let's jump to it. JD, I'm going to leave and rejoin really quick just because my internet's a little laggy at the moment. So I will see you on the other side.
Do
We go
your
to the
thing. I'm
cards.
gonna I'm gonna pop a shot of Ben here. Hey Ben,
Hey, hey,
you're on Topstep TV. Oh
look
no,
at that.
just curious. So taking the Series 3 exam, how difficult was it? Scale of 1 to 10.
Um, Scale of
Putting
one
into
to
account the
ten.
amount of time that putting into account the amount of time that you spent studying on it. What would you
Yeah,
say?
I spent about 2 months studying for it. Sometimes for bouts of a couple hours, sometimes just a half hour, kind of here and there. Where I could. I felt pretty well prepared for it based on the practice test. I think the live test, was a little bit harder than the practice test. Jack, it should be a breeze for you. I saw a lot of bond and interest rate related questions, so that was my weak spot, and I know that's something you traded professionally, so it should be. If I'm sure every test is a little bit different, but yeah, that was something I noticed. I don't know. I give it maybe a 7. It wasn't the hardest test I've ever taken for sure, but it wasn't easy either. So maybe yeah, 6, 7, something like that.
Well, your boy will be taking it in October, bonds or not. So we will be, I'll live stream it. I know they won't let me till I come out with a phone, but I will pass or fail. I will come in live to Topstep TV.
You ask for
Uh,
the video footage of the testing center. Ask him to drop you the security footage.
yeah, maybe I'll fail because I brought a phone into the test area just for the content, but the content reigns supreme. And speaking of content, let's take a look at those cards.
Yeah, let's do it. We've got Shiftan up first. Shiftan, I believe I saw him in the chat a little bit earlier today, and very communicative is something I'll say about Shiftan. We've been in a lot of communication with Shiftan from the moment he got called up from XFA to Live, up to as recently as about 10 minutes before the start of the segment. So got some fresh information on Shiftan. If you were paying attention to the updates we just gave on the live board, Shiftan is up 20,500, 20,400 some change. So really fantastic day, following a really impressive day yesterday, $31,800. So two massive trading days stacked together. Gave up, paired a little bit of the gains from earlier today, was up, I think, at one point about 28,000 unrealized, and looks to be locked in at 20,000 for the day. So, first and foremost, that's incredible. It's awesome. It takes a special type of trader to be able to sit through that sort of gain, in such a short trade. Day trades are within the trading session. So, to see yourself make 20 grand in a single trading session, or 30 grand yesterday is really impressive. But so far, those are the only winning trading days in this account that we've seen. So the average daily P&L, some of the other winning day percentage, winning trade percentage, those numbers are going to be skewed pretty wildly given the number of trading days we're looking at, only 9 trading days. Because so much of it is just backstopped by that daily loss limit, and ultimately, far overshadowed by yesterday's performance as well as today. So kudos to you, Shiftan. We're not going to dwell too much on those statistics because there's not a lot to be gained from them necessarily. But I will say that the next goal, if you were going to take my recommendation, and you're welcome to take it or leave it, is hit your $200 winning days to take a payout. So far, prior to yesterday, Shiftan had hit the daily loss limit every day in the account. Now, to his credit, starting out, before he even got transferred into the live account, he was on the phone with the risk team saying, hey, I really want to have a $1,000 daily loss limit rather than the $3,000 daily loss limit that will come out of the box for a 150K live account. And so that was really great hearing that from him. He hit that $1,000 loss limit, Jack, you'll see from the trade report, the first 2 days, and then ultimately contacted us and said, hey, I'd like to return it to 3,000, give me a little more room on the trading. We obliged that, and he proceeded to hit it a few more times. Since then, we've had a couple of conversations about reducing the daily loss limit to 1,000, raising it back up to 3,000. Shiftan, if you're listening, I would ultimately tell you that this was in you, this performance was in you the whole time, and was more about getting on the right side of the market than how wide your loss limit by default actually is. So whether it's $1,000 loss limit or $3,000 loss limit, I have full confidence you can continue to put up large profitable days if that's your style, if that's what you want to do. So as of about 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago now, after a conversation that Brett had with Shiftan, he said he wants to leave the daily loss limit at 1,000 going forward, which is a fantastic move. I think the right thing to do. So just want to rain quite a bit of praise on Shiftan for not just the performance yesterday and today, but having the forethought to say, okay, now it's time to reduce the daily loss limit. I'm not going to go back and forth anymore, and we're flip-flopping. And hopefully inch towards that qualifying for a payout and paying himself 50 grand, 30, it would be 50%. So, 25 or 30 grand would be what he's eligible for. So that would be awesome. Definitely what we want to see happen as a result of this trading. And, I think a divorce from the DLL would be appropriate, but if you want to reel it in and just have that concrete stop for yourself, be 500 or 1,000 rather than the 3,000 that is out of the box for this account size. That's also a healthy and appropriate way of dealing with it. So what are your thoughts on looking this over, Jack, considering the $20,000 performance today that
That's damn impressive, man, to make $32,000 yesterday and then headed up with a 20,000. I love that he's cutting his risk limit to 1,000 now. I would keep it there at least until you get the 3 more days for the payout. Make that your new goal. Lock in this money. What I love love about yesterday, the 31,797 day. The P&L high when shift on was flat was 32,747, right? So kept on going to the well and risked $1,000, lost it, was like, I am done. I love seeing people lock up a large part of that. Too many times have we seen people give back, in one case, $60,000 or something like that. When
Yeah.
you're done. I hope you lock up a good portion of that uh, 20K plus you're up today. Your only goal right now should be to get to those 5 days and then proceed from there. All right. We don't need
Yeah.
to be swinging for the fences, but it sounds like you already know that. Awesome job, Shift On.
Yeah, that's Jack. Before we move on, I think that's a really, really underrated way of looking at your own trade reports for all of our traders out there. Looking at your net P and L in relation to the P and L high of that day. Having consistently having your net P and L be on winning days be 70, 80 plus percent of the P and L high is a winning recipe. If you're only walking away with 30% of what was your P&L high of the day, especially if you're not a really high win rate type of trader, that's a recipe for disaster. So just a small way of viewing your trade reports and your statistics that can really help you dial in, okay, am I going to the well too much? Am I giving up too much once I'm ahead on the day? So something to consider. We can move on to our next trading card. Someone that we weren't able to get to on Monday, we're going to circle back, is Pin Sin.
And quick note before we go on Pin Sin is the tilt now has reverted back to normal range. 56% long NASDAQ. That sell off took out some of those longs there. So let's talk about Pin Sin, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Pin Sin has been in this live account, credit where it's due, has been in the live account for today is the 120th day. Now, in that time, if he's traded 15 different products, everything from soybeans to the Japanese yen to the Nasdaq. Quite a breadth, which for me is not necessarily an alarm bell unless there is very erratic performance across those products, right? Because if you're seeing really different performance in the British pound compared to crude oil, compared to the S&P 500, it's probably worth, at a minimum, going back and reviewing your strategy that you're trying to deploy across all of these products, or just narrow your focus to a short list of products that you find this strategy to be profitable on. Overall, there's a negative average daily P&L that is spurred on by having a couple of large winning days, and then being a loyal member to Club DLL, having the average losing day be the daily loss limit of $3,000 when you've traded for a total of 120 days is impressive, and not in a good way. So divorcing the DLL, that is the theme for this segment of Shoulder Tap. We have to get away from just leaning into and ramming into that daily loss limit, unless you are going to reach out to the risk team and say, hey, I need the daily loss limit for my account cut in half, or cut by a third, or cut by a tenth even. Unless you're going to do that, that limit is not your friend, let's say. Because ultimately, it's simple math. These winning days are not outpacing the, sometimes several daily loss limits in a row. And, when you have a really good winning day, you're giving back those profits in short order. So being more selective can be helpful here. Just being selective in products and in the actual opportunities that you're going to take in those products. And, take the time to review what is working and what isn't. Not Shift Time. Pin Sin is who we're talking about. Has taken $6,000 in payouts. That's great. Taking thousands of dollars out of the live account is excellent. However, we've been in the account for a long period of time. So that's really what I would share on this. Not I want to beat Pinson down, but ultimately, all of the good that we've seen from this account has been wiped away for the most part in the form of hitting that daily loss limit repeatedly. So, what do you think when you're looking over a wealth of trading data on the trade report,
Th-
Jack?
This, as you said, 119 days. This is too long for me to like get a good. I see a lot of daily loss. 119 days at an average daily P&L of minus 300. Not a winning formula. You mentioned the 6K in payouts. Uh, Boy, is that all that Pinson has taken out? Because if so, it's tough to like say these things, but like that kind of like I feel viscerally like not like I think it's disgusting, but sort of sick to my stomach because the high balance on this account is quite high,
Right.
far
It
higher than
is.
most we see.
And the optimistic take on that is that the payout was requested a couple of days ago. So um, you know, as a I don't know if it's if you would call it last ditch necessarily. It's difficult to get into the motivations in the mind of the trader without lengthy conversations. But having a recent when you're on a losing streak, when you've kind of bled out the account to a degree over a significant period of time, um, being kind to yourself and forgiving yourself, is I think is requisite before you can move forward in a positive direction. And paying yourself is a really tangible way of doing that, of being kind to yourself, forgiving yourself, so that you can try and move on. So I like that the payout was recent. It is. Had we been talking about this a week ago, you know, there would have been no payouts in the account, and it would have been, like you're saying, Jack, a little bit even more sickening. And not to be clear, not disgusted by the behavior, just um, sad for the trader. That's hard to go through when you're trading an account for that long. Having some wins, having more losses, having some wins, having more losses, and not actually reaping anything from it is tough. So hopefully, this is a pivot point. There's still plenty of balance to work with here to get on the right track. But there's got to be some changes. We got to narrow the focus. I would say cut the product list in half is probably a good first step, and figure out what trades you actually want to be in and what the conditions are such that those trades work out really well for you.
I hope they listen. I mean, 8 straight days, 8 straight days of DLL right now. And we're getting to the point in the balance where another 8 straight days will lose you the account. Stop doing it. Do not
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Do not hit the DLL tomorrow. Do anything else. It's already like you asked, it's like, uh, what product do you trade? Yes. That is that is the answer here. Trying
When
a little bit of
there's
everything.
when there's too many to list in the box for products traded, we probably need to reduce the count. Unless there have been, to be fair, there have been a very small handful of traders that I've reviewed who have success, have whether it's an indicator or process, a strategy that they deploy across multiple products with success. Now, that requires a lot of work because you got to know what kind of news is impacting your products, what kind of releases, economic reports, trends. There's a tremendous amount of research that goes into responsibly trading products across multiple different markets. But if you have the bandwidth, if you have the capacity to do that, it can generate additional opportunities for a strategy that you have tested and know works. So again, that list of traders that do that successfully is I can count on one hand that I've seen. So if it's not you, you need to recognize that and make a change and make an adjustment.
Okay. We can go to the next card. And as we do in the transition here, I'll just read real quick the products. Pinsin has been trading soybeans, E-mini Dow, gold, the E-mini S&P 500, Nikkei, E-mini Nasdaq 100, British pound, Canadian dollar, Euro FX, Japanese yen, crude oil, natural gas, silver, copper, and platinum.
That's how you pronounce Nikkei in Texas, Nike.
Nike.
Um, Nike, trading the Nike. Yeah, we got one more card. I think we have a little bit of time we can knock out. Want to give Shout out to Faye. Faye H trading with us from Chula Vista, California. Faye's been trading very well. Has had an excellent day today. I believe is up 6,300 today. So awesome trading performance. There's been a little bit of call it treading water. Making money, giving back a piece of that, not the full 100%. Making more money, giving back a piece of that. But have had really good days as of late, and looking for. We've been on August 21st was an excellent day, and then proceeded to give back some of those profits. So the best day prior to today was August 21st, and proceeded to hit the daily loss limit in this account 4 days in a row afterwards. So when I see that plus the performance again today of 6,300. My recommendation would take a break. We're midway through the week. You just put up $6,000. You're up nicely in the account. You qualify for a payout. Request a payout, and heck, take the week off if you want to. If you have the means, you have the ability to take that time off. Hopefully, you do. Just don't trade for that period of time, right? Request a payout, let it hit your account, and take a breather, because it looks like the trend. Although we don't have a tremendous amount of data to look at, it looks like the trend is nice winning day. Proceed to give a decent chunk of that back. Record-breaking day for this account. Proceed to give back almost all of those profits. So this time around, we got a $6,300 winning day. Let's lock that in. Let's take a payout, and then we can go about building the account balance back up from there. That's all I've got on this one, Jack. Anything quick notes for Faye before we check out?
Yeah, it's very different than the last card in that instead of those products, like Daniel Plainview is an oil man. Faye is a gold woman. Only gold being traded in this account. I think you're right. The one thing I'd point to is if you're treating this professionally, you're not allowed to hit the loss limit imposed by like 4 straight times right now. It looks like 4 straight days. Not counting today, she's up. Uh, you can't do that. Don't don't hit your loss limit. I mean, it's cool if you set your own loss limit that's lower or something like that, but like the maximum you can lose, don't don't keep on losing it each day. That doesn't show like that's I don't know. It's kind of like I'm trying to think of an analogy here, but it's like unfocused practice or something like that. It's like change the things you were doing that are within your control. You can't control the markets, you can't control whether your trades work or not, but you can control how much money you lose each day.
Yep.
So start with that. But
Easiest way to not lose money trading is to not trade.
truer words never spoken. All right, Ben. But like overall, good stuff, Faye. Has she taken any payouts? Let's get a payout at some point. You can buy some gold bullion with it.
No
All
kidding.
right. Yeah.
Trade some gold futures in the live market. Buy some gold bullion. That's a winning recipe. That's a retire early recipe if you can do that for long enough. So good on you, Faye.
I'll tell you what, Ben. The I just saw that the value of one of those big gold bars like they had in Fort Knox went through $1 million for the first time. If anyone ever takes $1 million payout, it might have to be in a gold bar. All right, Ben. Congrats again on passing the Series 3. Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
today. And stick around because right after this, we have group coaching. And in group coaching today, we got none other than David Green, and JD will be there. You'll definitely want to miss that. So we'll end this now so we can get to them. Stay cool, guys. We'll see you right after the break. Bye.